Lefty, lefty, lefty. The happy leftist. Woo!
Hi, I'm Lefty. I'm the happy leftist. Whee! The question is, why is this cat meowing? I don't know why he's meowing. Why are you meowing? Here it is, another Prager video. This is my first broadcast, and we're focused on Dennis Prager's little group. Was it called Dennis Elementary School or Dennis University? I don't know what it's called. Anyway, he's going to use a propaganda technique that's prevalent among conservatives. It's called Gish Gallop. No, it's not a name of a racing horse. Gish Gallop means their technique is they'll say in a matter of a minute, they'll say 10 lies, and the listener cannot respond to everything because they spill all this information and your brain hasn't got time to analyze it or listen to it. It goes to your subconscious. So 10 lies a minute. And he does that in this video. So I'll be stopping a lot. So here we go. Let's start with the first lie.
Motives are much less important than behavior. We all...
Oh, Dennis, did you make that up all by yourself? I never read that anywhere. You must have made it up. You're so clever. Motives don't have behavior. I'll tell you something. You ought to talk to your conservative compatriots about that, because when you bomb Hiroshima, that's behavior. What was the motive behind it? Anyway, let's continue with this tomfoolery.
know this. If someone has good intentions but treats people badly, those good intentions mean nothing. As it is with individuals, so it is with governments. Capitalism might sound less noble than communism deemed...
Wait, whoa. Less noble as capitalism? Dennis, are you defending communism? You're saying communism is more noble than capitalism? Did you say that in your subconscious? Did you mean to say that? Is it on your script? Or did you fluff the script? Let us continue with this Gish Gallop.
Individual pursues success to the best of his abilities.
See what he did there? He took a communist phraseology and he changed the words. The individual pursues success to the best of their abilities. He's paraphrasing the communist Marxist phraseology, each according to their needs. Now, what I'm saying here is, even though you're not successful, you still have shelter, home, health care. But if you everything is predicated on ability, then if you fail, what happens? You starve to death. Next.
That's capitalism. Versus everyone shares everything equally. That's communism.
It's also Christianity. Christ in his gospel said, share and share alike. That's the main ethic of communism. So, was Jesus a communist? Ooh, the word communist comes from the word commune. And that's what the early Christians did. They lived on communes. That's communism. Communism.
But it is capitalism that has produced freedom. And it
Freedom for the rich.
alone has lifted millions from poverty while
Actually, hundreds. The bosses are successful, the rest of the people are not.
Communism has kept millions impoverished and, without exception, crushed freedom.
Kept people in poverty? That's because you had sanctions and you didn't give Vietnam any food. So what they were supposed to do? They didn't keep people impoverished. They enforced it by law. American imperialism did that, not the Communist Party. Look at Dennis, man. Doesn't he look like, I don't know, a makeup artist from a funeral parlor just did him up? He looks like he's ready for the grave now. The coffin's waiting, Dennis. Just kidding.
Capitalism, for all its imperfections, enables a decent society.
Enables a decent society? You know what's capitalist? Porn. It's capitalism. It's there to make a profit, to make money. Is that part of the decent society you're advocating? How about kiddie porn? No, how about marijuana? No, how about heroin? That's a business. When you sell drugs, that's free enterprise. And when the government outlaws it, that's government regulation. Chew on that one for a while.
Communism, whatever its stated intentions, leads to evil.
Leads to evil. But what evil was there before? Capitalism! There would be no communism if there was no capitalism. If capitalism was so wonderful, there wouldn't have been opposition to it. Communism is just the opposition. Okay, let's go back to the corpse.
Yet increasingly, people either ignore or deny the evil of this ideology.
No, they don't ignore it. The information they get is lies. Lies from the mainstream media, lies by people like you. Evil is not somebody trying to help you. Evil is somebody saying that the person is trying to help you is evil. Chew on that one for a while.
Which within a period of only 60 years created modern totalitarianism.
Wrong! Communism started when Christ walked the earth. All right? It's not 60 years. Man, I'm 67 years old. You mean communism started in 1958? Idiot.
And deprived more people of human rights and tortured and killed more people than any ideology.
Than any other ideology. There's this country called Singapore. And it is a right-wing dictatorship. Philippines, too. They're not even communists. They're monarchies. They're fascist monarchies. And they took away people's... See if you have human rights in the Philippines. Duterte, the dictator of Philippines, if you look anything funny, then you were accused of selling drugs, and he shoots you right on the spot with his troops. Okay, more BS. Here we go.
In history. How can we explain this? There are two ways. One is ignorance.
Which you reinforce. That's called obscurantism. Obscurantism is to keep people stupid. The ignorance is not from communists. It's the people are anti-communist are spreading this ignorance.
People just don't know the truth about communism. The second is willful blindness.
Let's go to the next
People
one.
know the truth, but choose to ignore it because the truth about communism's horrors is too painful to confront.
No, anti-communism is way more painful. And listen to your rhetoric, I'm having a headache you wouldn't believe. I'll tell you something. You're talking about denial. You have denial about capitalism. You think capitalism was created by Jesus or God or a thing or whatever it is. Well, the pain is coming from the anti-communist quarters.
Given the sad state of our educational system, we can assume most people fall into the first category. They just don't know. So
Oh, you're blaming our educational system? You want our educational system to be an indoctrination center to our kids? To shove your ideas down the little kids' throats? Is that what you have in mind? Look at that smile on his face. It's what we call in the working class a shit-eating smile. He's proud of himself. He's proud that he's lying to you. He thinks it's funny. He's smiling. Oh, look what I'm doing. Look what I'm lying, everybody. Look, oh.
me offer some facts.
That's a laugh.
But before I do, I need to address another question. Why is it important that everyone know what communism did?
Because it's a... Let me put it this way. Because you want to protect the ruling class. You want to make sure that they don't destroy the rich Aryan race. Okay? Does that explain it?
Here are 3 reasons. First, we have a moral obligation to the victims of communism now.
And we have a bigger moral obligation to protect the victims of capitalism.
To
Next.
forget them. Just as Americans have a moral obligation to remember the victims of slavery,
Just like Americans have a bigger obligation to know the victims of wage slavery, which is happening right now. You can't even get $15 an hour.
we have the same obligation to the billion victims of communism.
There is no billion victims of communism. That is a straight up exaggeration. That's a lie. How can you read Karl Marx and then die? Oh, are you talking about Stalin or Mao? Well, they're not communist.
Especially the 100 million who were murdered.
100 million. Now we're going to find out where these facts came from.
Second, the best way to prevent an evil
Or
from
not.
occurring is to confront it in all its horror.
Wrong, wrong, wrong. You confront evil by making sure it doesn't occur. You preempt it. You don't wait till the cancer comes. You prevent it. Idiot, dummy, moron.
The fact that many people today, especially young people, mention communism as a viable option for modern society,
Wrong again. They're saying a viable option for democratic socialism. Matter of fact, there's a thing going on the internet right as we speak. There's a battle between the democratic socialists and the tankies. You want to know what a tanky is? It's a Maoist. It's a Stalinist. They call them tankies because the Stalinists thought every solution to a capitalist or imperialist problem is to send the tanks in a country. Just like what America does.
proves they don't know communism's moral record.
We don't know your moral record. I bet all your police records are expunged. You probably have nice lawyers, don't you?
Therefore, they do not properly fear communism.
And there it is. Bing, bang, boom. They do not fear communism. Okay, I'm going to get gangster right now. When we baby boomers were growing up, we were indoctrinated in fear of communism. We didn't know what it was, but we hated it, and we were always warned about it. If you don't do your homework, the communists are going to take away your rights. It was always drop drills, be in the middle of a class, and the teacher would go, drop! And you had to run under the seat, collapse under a seat, put your hands around your neck in case of the Russia dropping a bomb on us. And there was all sorts. I remember seeing the cafeteria of my elementary school, and there was a little sign with the nuclear symbol saying shelter. We had bomb shelters. We were bombarded with fear of communism. It's equivalent to the fear of God. So we don't have to, we won't rebel against authority because God is always right. The conservative Republican government is always right. Don't question authority. Okay.
Which means this evil could happen again.
Labeling. Let's talk about labeling. People that happen to be on the white race, which is a coincidence. This is not a racist statement. But labeling is a tactic. Anything you don't like, you put a label on it. Communism. You don't call it you call it evil. So don't believe any labels unless you're going to buy beans in the supermarket.
And why could it happen again? That brings us to reason number 3. The leaders of communist regimes and the vast number of people who help those leaders torture, enslave, and murder.
They do? Here's a name. Here's a name. Guantanamo Bay. I'm not pronouncing it right. It's a little place on communist Cuba that the United States owned property on the east side of Cuba. They take people there, and the CIA tortures and murders and enslaves people. And they did that with Abu Ghraib. They called it CIA Black Ops. So America tortures, murders people in privacy. At least in communist country, they do it in the open. But they don't torture, enslave their own people. And I'll explain that later.
Nearly all normal people. Of course.
Normal people? Look who's talking. You're not normal. You suffer from covert narcissistic personality disorder. Normal. What do you know about normal people? He's going to tell us.
Of course, some were psychopaths.
Some were psychopaths. Only a little bit, There's always one in the crowd, There's psychopaths. But they were normal people. How do you know what abnormal is? You robot? I like the way his button is tight so you won't see his double chin.
But most were not, which means that any society, including free ones, can devolve into communism or some analogous evil.
Yeah, I'd like to know what that analogous evil is. Oh, I don't know. Theocracy? Yeah, fascist, like they have in Iran and all the other Islamic theocracy.
Now some facts. Based on the authoritative Black Book of Communism.
Oh, I love this part. Oh, do I love this part. The Black Book of Communism. Where do we got? I got to The Black Book of Communism is which is fake as the Elders of Zion. The Protocols of the Elder of Zion. That was a fake book about a Jewish conspiracy in Russia in the late 19th century. The Protocols, that was the first anti-Semitic book. The Black Book of Communism. It was named after another book. And I'm coming to it. There was another book called, and it's in my notes somewhere. The book was named after the Jewish anti-fascist book called The Committee of the Black Book. So whoever did this fake book was trying to overshadow this book, the Jewish anti-fascist committee of the Black Book. Now, why would somebody put out a book like this with fake names? It said it was done by Russians, or no, it was done by French people. All those names that co-written the book were fake. Another thing is, Harvard Books published it because they knew it'd be a good seller and they needed money, raise money for the university. Just because Harvard Books publish it doesn't mean they endorse it. You're always getting what do you call it? Disclaimers saying this company does not endorse this piece of work. So the Black Book of Communism, which is a stupid name, should have been the Red Book. Duh. Okay, let's continue. Let us continue.
Written by 6 French scholars and published in the United States by Harvard University Press. Here are...
See, he's trying to legitimize it. But that book sucks. If you get it, you can use it for your fireplace.
the numbers of people murdered by communist regimes. Not soldiers, ordinary civilians.
Wrong. It was mostly soldiers. Civilians that got killed were from natural disasters or mass starvation. They didn't say we should kill all our comrades because we don't want them to have flat screen TVs. Okay, so let's shoot them all. No, as soldiers. Russia was involved in World War II, and guess what? Russia killed more Nazis than America did. So all that death and destruction. By the way, this book has been debunked by statisticians for about 25 years now. So that book is just bullshit.
Vietnam, 1 million. Eastern Europe, 1 million. Ethiopia, 1.5 million. North Korea, 2 million. Cambodia, 2 million. The Soviet Union, 20 million. China, 65 million. And the numbers are conservative. And
yeah, they are. They're conservative lies. The numbers are conservative lies.
of course, these numbers do not describe the suffering endured by hundreds of millions of people who were not murdered.
I'm suffering now listening to your cock shit.
The systematic stripping people of their right to speak freely.
Yeah, well, how come you don't have any communist videos on your website?
To worship freely, to start
And to not worship. If I'm an atheist, I have a right in America not to worship.
a business.
Yeah, I want to sell pot in your neighborhood. You mind? I knock door-to-door pot selling. Hi, ma'am. Do you need some weed today?
Or even to travel without party permission.
Or have somebody sit with you in the plane talking to you when you want to be left alone. Dennis!
No non-communist judiciary or media.
Non-communist judiciary? What the hell does that mean? Non-communist? You mean when they have what do they call it? When you have a dispute?
Mediator.
Yeah, we have a mediator. Huh? God, this guy makes my mind go blank.
Yeah. The poverty of nearly all communist countries, the imprisonment of vast numbers of people,
The poverty. Who caused the poverty? The chicken or the egg? Reason there's poverty is because of imperialism and capitalism, not because of the Communist Party. And people in prison, did you know America has the most prisoners in our prisons than anywhere in the whole fucking world? Just thought I'd tell you.
And of course, the trauma suffered by the hundreds of millions
How about the trauma your family has to endure when they have to listen to you at dinner time, huh?
of friends and relatives of the murdered and imprisoned.
Sounds like your household.
These numbers don't tell you about the frozen millions in the vast Soviet Siberian prison camp system.
How about the North Dakota prison in the middle of winter? You want to spend time in a prison in North Dakota during the winter? Would you rather have humidity in Cuba and prisons in Cuba? I guess the Jews do run the weather. Just kidding.
Known as the Gulag Archipelago, or the Vietnamese communists' routine practice of burying peasants alive.
Wrong! That was the South Vietnamese. That was President Tu of the dictatorship of South. He did that. The communists, the Viet Cong used to unbury these things and save people. You liar, you.
To terrorize other peasants into supporting the communists.
Here's another fact. Cambodia. The Khmer Rouge. Remember those communists? The killing fields? Who destroyed the Khmer Rouge in Cambodia? Pol Pot's people. Was it America? No. Was it England? No, it wasn't. Was it Israel? No, it wasn't. No. It was the Viet Cong. The Communist Party and the Viet Cong invaded Cambodia and overthrew the government. Just thought I'd tell you.
Or Mao's. People associate evil with darkness. That's not accurate. It is easy to look into the dark.
What the hell does that mean?
It is very hard to stare into bright light.
Oh, Dennis, are you having a messianic moment here? Are you the bright light? Oh.
One should therefore associate evil with extreme brightness, given that people rarely look at real evil. And those who do not confront
I'm looking at it right now.
real evil often make up evils, like systemic racism in 21st century.
Oh, racism is not a thing. So you're a racist denier. That's sweet.
America, or toxic masculinity.
You know the people who complain about feminists talking about toxic masculinity are men who have toxic masculinity. Boy, I hate to be married to this schmuck.
Or patriarchy.
Yeah, that's where the word patriotism comes from. Patriarchy. When a woman says, I'm a patriot, she's wrong. She has to be a matriarch. Matriotic. Okay? Okay, we're coming to the end, folks. Hold on. And if you got your air sickness bags, better open it up now.
Are much easier to confront. The book of Psalms states, those of you who love God must hate evil.
You notice he never talks about the King James Version? He only goes for the Old Testament. I guess he likes the oldies but goodies.
If you don't believe in God, here's another way of putting it. Those of you who love people must hate evil.
And those who hate Dennis Prager is blessed by God. How about them apples?
If you don't hate communism, you don't care about, much less love, people.
What did Che Guevara say? He says, at the risk of sounding effeminate, us revolutionaries have deep feelings of love. So, wrong again, Dennis. Better take the makeup off. You look like you're turning whiter every time I look at him.
I'm Dennis Prager.
And I'm not. Maybe there is a God.
Thank you for watching this video.
No thanks. So that's it for today. We'll have another one in the future. Thank you.